for sleeping too much. So eating too much or eating too little, एकदम कम भी नहीं कर रहे, है ना, खाना बिल्कुल छोड़ देने का नहीं. I was trying to do Nirjal Ekadasi on every Ekadasi. So Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj said no. I will never recommend my disciples for Nirjal Ekadasi, Nirjal on every Ekadasi. I don't recommend. No, Maharaj said health is very important. Your health spoils, then what is the use of fasting? No. So very, very important. So eating too much or eating too little, sleeping too much or not sleeping. If he doesn't sleep, mind goes crazy. So like that. So everything is should be balanced. Okay, then yellow thing.
Although these instructions are effective for jnanis, still their purport is favorable for devotional service. The concluding verse of Bhagavad Gita explains about Saranagati or full surrender. Keeping this in mind, one should renounce fruitive activities and philosophical speculation and accept sense object as the Lord's mercy. This is known as pure devotional service.
So surrender means what? Sharanagati means, you know, two things. One should renounce fruitive activities and one should renounce philosophical speculation. One should not speculate what Shastra is telling. You should have clear reference from the Shastra. You should not speculate. So Rupa Goswami is telling, Anasaktasya Vishayanatārham Punja Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagya Uchate Prapanchit Kaya Bhaktya Hari Sambandhi Vastuna Mumukshubhi Parityago Vairagyam Falgukatyate. When one is attached to anything, but at the same time accepts everything in relationship to Krishna, he is rightly situated above possessiveness. On the other hand, one who rejects everything without knowledge of its relationship to Krishna is not a complete in his renunciation. If we should accept what is favorable for bhakti, what should renounce, what is not favorable. If he renounces spiritual activities also, then that is Falgu Vairagya. No? So, the purport is that Atyahara means if one accepts sense objects in the spirit of enjoyment, that is Atyahara. But if sense objects are accepted as Lord's mercy and as far as required and favorable for devotional service, then it is not Atyahara. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing very nice. So, honestly accepted Lord mercy, sense objects as a Lord's mercy, then Yukta Vairagya is attained. No? So Mahaprabhu is telling, Balana kaive ar balana parive. So one should not eat too much with palatable dishes and one should not dress very fine clothes. Whatever is required, take only that. Taking more or less will not yield auspicious results. How to know how much is too much? Spiritual mastery. Okay, read this yellow part.
The purport of the instructions to tolerate the urges of the tongue and belly mentioned in this first verse is this. The materialist easily becomes greedy to enjoy the finest taste, and being afflicted by hunger, he becomes extremely agitated and enthusiastic to eat the available foodstuffs. This is a material urge. Whenever this type of urge will arise, it should be controlled by the cultivation of devotional service. The injunction to reject atyahar mentioned in second verse is a constitutional rule for the practitioner. The injunction of the first verse is conditional and the injunction of the second is constitutional.
So, To tolerate the urges of the tongue and belly, means what? A materialist cannot tolerate. There is no tolerance. Due to hunger, extremely he becomes agitated. Some people cannot control lust because of having no idea of devotional service. It is obvious. Those who don't know devotional service, they cannot control their senses. That is a material urge. But it should be controlled by cultivation of devotional service. Naturally, bhakti has such a potency that any crude person can be made into pure devotee. That bhakti's power is there. It is not our power. So these instructions are meant for two types. Atyahara, prayasascha, prajalpa and all this. One is for householders and is for renunciates. Everything. So can you read these householders?
Householders can collect in order to maintain their family members. They should earn their livelihood and save according to religious principles. With this saving, they should serve the Lord, the devotees, guests, family members, and themselves. If a householder collects more than his requirement, then this is an impediment in his devotional service and in his achieving the Lord's mercy. So, saving too much or earning too much are both atyahar, there is no doubt. A renunciate will not collect at all. If he is not satisfied by the alms he obtained every day, then he is guilty of atyahar. After getting nice foodstuff, if he eats more than he needs, then he is guilty of atyahar. Therefore, the householders and renunciates should consider these facts carefully, and after giving up atyahar, when they engage in devotional service, they will attain Krishna's mercy.
Householder, he should not collect more. And renunciate, he should always, every day he should beg. Go out and beg. So, if we have, one boy was telling, if we have more money, we can peacefully chant, no, bro? So, actually, dependence on Krishna will reduce. Oh, money is there, that money will protect. Not money is going to protect you. अगर कोई रिलेटिव हॉस्पिटल में चला जाएगा, कितना पैसा आप दे सकते हो? हर दिन एक दिन का आईसीयू का चार्ज 60,000 70,000, कितना महीना रख पाओगे? देयर इज नो एंड. मरने वाले को भी ऑक्सीजन रख के निकाल निकाल के पैसा. Money is not going to help us. That what we should have firm faith that Krishna is going to protect. Whether he is a grasta or brahmachari. Brahmachari, you should not even collect. You should always dependent on Krishna every day. So that is dependence on Krishna is going to make us Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, if we have sufficient money, more than we need, then we feel relaxed. No urge of Krishna consciousness. That force will not come within to take shelter of Krishna. Oh, why? I have money. I have my bank balance. Why to disturb Krishna? Some people speculate also. Why to disturb Krishna? Krishna is waiting for our call, and we have some people are telling, why to disturb Krishna? Krishna is waiting when we will cry, shed tears for calling out Krishna. If we have sufficient bank balance, why we will cry for Krishna? So we should always renunciate on householders. Householders should collect only for serving guests, family members, and themselves, devotees. For example, Yudhishthir Maharaj was asking, Akshay Patra, for what? To serve guests. He told, I am a grihastha, I am a kshatriya. I have to feed people. Even in forest, kshatriya has to feed. So he asked, Lord Krishna personally told to collect Akshay Patra. Because you are all kshatriyas. So feeding for grihastha dharma is to feed. Like Srila Prabhupada father, every day he was feeding souls. That is a dharma of grihastha. Even in my house also, in farmer, when some people are going, they will call, are you hungry? He used to call and feed them. There should be always abundance in our home, like grihasthas. But brahmachari should always depend every day. And every day Krishna will give. Every day dependence on Krishna. Not tomorrow I will have sufficient. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Haritaka, he asked one day, his assistant. So next day he kept it. So even before asking, he gave. Where from it came? So Sri Chaitanya, the assistant said, you asked yesterday, so I thought it is required for digestion every day. So I kept it. So Mahaprabhu chastised. Preserving is not a sign of brahmacharya. Brahmachari should always beg every day. No? So prayasa is also of two types. In this, can you read?
Prayasa, prayasa is of two kinds, jnana prayasa and karma prayasa. In jnana prayasa, the feeling of oneness or kevala advaita arise. This is also known as sayujya, merging, or brahma nirvana, absorption in the supreme. Jnana prayasa is hostile to spiritual life. This is explained in the Vedic literature Mundakopanishad in the following words.
नायम आत्म प्रवचनेन लभ्यो न मेधसा न बहुना श्रुतेन यम एवैसे यम एवैस वृणीते तन न लभ्यस तस्यैस आत्मनि वृणीते तनुम स्वाम. So the Supreme Lord is not obtained by expert explanations, by vast intelligence, or even by much hearing. He is obtained only by one whom he himself chooses. To such a person, he manifests his own form. ऐसा नहीं कि नायम आत्म प्रवचने न लभ्यो. बहुत प्रचार का, बहुत लेक्चर देने से भगवान प्राप्त नहीं होता है. इतना लेक्चर दिया मैं, तो that doesn't mean you can obtain Krishna. So you can obtain Krishna is pleased, then only you can get Krishna. Jnana prayas, karma prayas. These two things has to be removed. वो कुछ लोग बहुत काम करते हैं, जितना बोला उतना जरूरत नहीं, जितना ज्यादा से ज्यादा कर्मा टेंडेंसीज, ज्ञाना टेंडेंसीज. ज्ञान प्रयास मतलब जो गुरु बता रहे उससे भी ज्यादा प्रयास करेगा, और सीखूंगा. जो गुरु के परमिशन से सीखना पड़ता है. ज्ञाने प्रयासमुदपाश्रनमन्त एव जीवन्ति सन्मुखरितां भवदीय वार्तां स्थाने स्थिता श्रुतिगतां तनुवान् मनोवीर्ये प्रयासो जितो हि असि तैस्त्रिलोक्यम. ये बहुत बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट वर्स है. ब्रह्म प्रेयर्स, है ना. कैन समबडी रीड दिस ट्रांसलेशन? ये आवाज मत कर मेरे.
I continue, Prabhu.
Yes.
Lord Brahma said, O my Lord Krishna, a devotee who abandons the path of empirical philosophical speculation amid at merging in the existence of the Supreme, and engages himself in hearing your glories and activities from a bona fide sadhu or saint, and who lives an honest life in the occupational engagement of his social life, can conquer your sympathy and mercy, even though you are ajita or unconquerable.
So, hearing for sadhaka bhaktas, bona fide spiritual master is very, very important. Under the guidance of spiritual master, one has to do everything, even bhakti activities. Then, by pleasing pure devotee, Lord will be purchased. Even though Ajita, Lord name is Ajit, but he can become Jita by serving his pure devotees. Shri Ashrutim Bhakti Mudasyate Vibho Klishyanti Ye Kevala Bodha Labhyate Tesham Asau Kleshala Eva Sishyate Nanyat Yata Stula Tusavagati Nam. Okay. Yeah. Read this translation.
My dear Lord, devotional service unto you is the only auspicious path. If one gives it up simply for speculative knowledge or the understanding that these living beings are spirit souls and the material world is false, he undergoes a great deal of trouble. He only gains troublesome and inauspicious activities. His endeavor are like beating a husk that is already devoid of rice. One's labor becomes fruitless.
If one gives up bhakti, you know, the only auspicious path. Bhakti is very important for devotee. That is the only thing which is going to protect us. Bhakti towards the Supreme Lord Krishna. And if he gives up that by speculation, then he loses all auspiciousness. So, especially we have to focus all senses in Krishna. You know? So that's why the Supreme Lord said, those who fixes their mind upon my personal form are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect. You know, not on sense object. One should engage it in mind and senses in Krishna. But those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which, yeah, very good. So beyond the perception of senses, all pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, you know, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engaged in welfare of all at last achieve me. If somebody cannot fix their mind upon Krishna, then they have to do some welfare activities. So, karma prayasa, if karma is not connected to Krishna, then dharma swanishtita pumsam viswaksena katasya na utpadayat yadiradim samayevahi kevalam. If one's occupational activities a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for message of personality of Godhead. So attraction to Krishna is the ultimate success by serving pure devotees. By serving through pure devotees. This karma prayas and jnana prayas has to be are detrimental for bhakti. So Rupa Goswami has told Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Adi Anavritam. First thing, Jnana and karma tendencies has to be removed. अन्य अभिलाषिता शून्य कोई अभिलाषा नहीं क्या अभिलाषा है कर्म अभिलाष ज्ञान अभिलाष ये सब रिजेक्ट करना अनुकूल लेना कृष्णानुशीलनम भक्तिरुत्तम जो कृष्ण को फेवरेबल है वही चीज करना चाहिए व्हाट इज दैट व्हाट इज फेवरेबल told by Guru, that only we should do. Paradharmo bhayavakaha. Not doing paradharma is a devotional service. Not doing what is not told is also a positive. Doing untold activities, that is not, even if you are expert in that, which is not told, even if you are successful, Krishna is not pleased. So this jnana prayas and karma prayas has to be understood very nicely, because Rupa Goswami has told anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karmada anavrutam. This is atyahara. This is prayasas, over endeavor. हम जो शास्त्र बोला नहीं, मेरा इस्कॉन में ना बेसिक फिलोसफी सिखाता है। ऐसा क्या बेसिक है? पहले इंद्रिय कंट्रोल हुआ है क्या? गुरु की आज्ञा पालन किया है क्या? ये बेसिक है। हाँ, तो गुरु की आज्ञा पालन नहीं कर पा रहे और इसको बेसिक बोलेंगे। ही वांट टू डू समथिंग मोर अकॉर्डिंग टू हिज ओन सेल्फ. Krishna doesn't give more followers, more money, because we cannot handle it. If we can handle, Krishna will surely give post, position, money, followers. How much we are qualified, that much only Krishna can give us. So this karma, jnana tendencies has to be prayas, overcome. Like that we can so somebody may tell, अरे कितना समय हमें करना पड़ेगा ये सब? बहुत हो गया। थोड़ा तो राधा कृष्ण का, भले सेंस कंट्रोल नहीं हुआ, थोड़ा राधा कृष्ण का पढ़ना चाहिए ना। प्रेम भक्ति चंद्रिका, उज्जवल नीलमणि, है ना, ये सब तो पढ़ना चाहिए ना, क्योंकि लोगों को बताने के लिए कि राधा कृष्ण का मेरे को मैं भी पढ़ता हूँ, आई एम सो एडवांस डिवोटी। तो हियर नो, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahma is praying, Tattenukampam susavikshamaano bhunjana evatmakritam vipakam rudvag vipurvir upavir vidadan namaste jivetanayo mukti pade sadaya bhak. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances within his heart, the words and the body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. One who is waiting for Krishna's mercy is the real devotee who is qualified for liberation. Not jumping. Even though my senses are not controlled, I can read Krishna and Radha pastimes. If your senses are not controlled, one should not read higher subjects. You know? So, here is a Brahma's prayer. One should wait for Krishna's Guru's mercy. And Guru tells you to read, that time you can read. Otherwise, we should not. तथापि ते देव पदाम्बुजद्वयम् प्रसादलेशानुगृहीत एव हि जानाति तत्त्वं भगवन्महिम्नो न चान्यो एकपि चिरं विचिन्वन्. These are all prayers of Brahma. My dear, my Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. बहुत शास्त्र पढ़ने से भगवान नहीं मिलेगा। So little mercy of the Lord can make us understand the greatness of Krishna. Mercy, we are Kripa Siddhas, not Sadhana Siddhas. No. So like that, Prajalpa and everything, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So glories, even if we do little bit, but prajalpa is like a useless quantity, huge quantity of tons and tons of stool. What is the use? If we accumulate tons and tons of stool, what is the use? That is prajalpa. Even if we have little bit of gold, that is most useful. Even भक्ति में थोड़ा सा भी अच्छा गुण है, अच्छा भगवत भक्ति के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे, दैट इज मोस्ट यूजफुल देन hours and hours of prajalpa. Prajalpa, Lord is not going to reward for prajalpa. Prajalpa means talking about non-Krishna conscious activities, not related to Krishna. So all prajalpas that are unfavorable to Krishna service are adverse to devotional service. Practitioners should carefully give up prajalpa. There is no fault in activities of Mahajanas. So, prajalpa means jalpa, prajalpa. Jalpa means talking. Prajalpa means not talking about Krishna. So, gopis, everybody are speaking about Krishna. They are not, you know, doing non-Krishna. They are doing Krishna consciousness. That is a great success in spiritual life. If you can speak about Krishna 24 hours, you don't need to shut mouth. So that is, so there are many verses. Now we are going to Niyamagraha also. Following, so can you read this? Niyamagraha ka. Can somebody read?
Abhishek Zarkar Prabhupada. Just conditioned souls are eligible. Which is this one, no? Yellow highlighted. Hello. Conditioned souls are eligible to attain a very exalted positions from a very low position. Between these two positions, there are many other positions. This position is a gradual step. Each gradual step is a distinct level of advancement. Each and every gradual step has different prescriptions and prohibitions. Whenever a living entity steps to one level and stays there, he is obliged to follow the prescriptions and prohibitions of that step. By following those enjoined prescriptions and prohibitions, one becomes eligible to attend the next steps. If one is unable to attend the next steps, he falls down to a lower state. This is called degradation. Attaining the higher state is called advancement.
So here one has to go step by step to the upper level. So one should not no uh, neglect the rules and regulations of that step. If one is a karma yogi, he has to follow that. Then he can come to jnana yogi. Then jnana yogi, then the bhakti yogi principles has to be followed. So if he doesn't, then he may fall from that position. You know? So here, this also can be read. Second paragraph.
Properly follow the precepts of one's own level is called one's prescribed duties or steadiness in one's own position. Steadiness in one's own position is piety, and deviation from one's position is impiety. There is no other piety and impiety than this. Therefore, in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11.21.27, Lord Krishna spoke these instructions to Uddhava.
स्वे स्वे अधिकतरे अनिष्ट सगुणा प्रकृति परिकीर्तिता विपर्ययस्तु दोषस्यात् उभयोरेष निश्चयात् देशकालादिभवा भावानां वस्तूनां मम वसत्तम गुणदोषौ विधीयेते नियमार्थं हि कर्मणाम्. Read translation.
Steadiness in one's own position is declared to an actual piety, whereas deviation from one's position is considered impiety. In this way, the two are definitely ascertained. O saintly Uddhava, in order to restrict materialistic activities, I have established that which is proper and improper among all material things, including time, space, and all physical objects.
So, steadiness in one's own position, not taking medicine according to others' disease. He is taking very colorful medicine. I will take his medicine. No. So everybody's medicine is different. Everybody is in different levels. One has to follow which level we are. Guru knows more better. So like that, different levels are there. So Jana Sangha, associating with worldly persons. Yesham Twantagatam Papam Jananam Punyakarmanam Te Dwandamokh Nirmukti Bhajante Mam Dృఢవ్రత. Persons who has acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated or freed from dualities of delusion, they engage themselves in my service with determination. So one has to do some selfless activities to get mercy of Krishna. ये नहीं कि मेरे को ही मिलेगा फल, नहीं. We have to selflessly help others to progress in bhakti. Then one day Krishna will give me also bhakti. So selfless activities. Then we do in Krishna consciousness, punya. That punya is very good, punya karmanam. That Krishna consciousness, punya will always help us, like book distribution, Harinam Sankirtan. मेरे को क्या मिलेगा, मेरे को थोड़ी भक्ति मिलेगा, ऐसा सोचेंगे तो you cannot. So Janasanga, so devotees should associate with devotees who are more advanced. One should not associate with less advanced people. One should not take inspiration from less advanced devotees. Generally, devotees are superior to karmis and jnanis in all respects. So yesterday, one devotee was telling, like devotee is like a helicopter. Even though it is not so modern version, but it is better than any bus, any first class bus. Helicopter is more better. Yes or not? Because it flies. It can go more faster than bus. Similarly, this bus is compared to karmis, jnanis, but devotee is compared to like a helicopter. There is no comparison. Devotee means he is better than karmis and jnanis. If somebody is comparing with karmis and jnanis, he is less intelligent. So this like that very Laulyam also we read yesterday. So in Bhagavad Gita also Lord Krishna tells, Kam, Krodh, Lobha. These three are highway roads to hell. Kam, Krodh and Lobha. So we have to overcome these things. The meaning of Laulya is restlessness, greed and desire. Restlessness is of kinds of two kinds of restlessness of the mind and restlessness of the intelligence. A chitta or mind has a propensity for following the dictates of the senses. When the mind follows the dictates of the senses and becomes absorbed in particular subject, attachment or aversion arises. Therefore, restlessness of the mind is of two types: restlessness due to attachment and restlessness due to aversion. Too much aversion or too much attachment. So even if one of the senses are uncontrolled, then mind will focus on, mind and intelligence will take away that senses. So in order to regulate laulya, the form of restlessness of the mind, one has to take shelter of goddess Bhakti Devi. The instruction of Bhakti Devi is this: when the cause of mind's restlessness is sense gratification, and this restlessness is the main obstacle in practice of devotional service, then all sensual activities should be dovetailed in service of Lord, and attachment to sense gratification should be transformed into attachment to the Lord. Then mind becomes fixed in devotional service by taking shelter of that attachment. If you have too much lusty, you want to see beautiful form of a sense object, then we have to touch the deity. We have to see the beauty, form of the deity. Should serve the deity. Otherwise, it cannot be overcome. You have to serve, massage the deities. Like that. For every sense object, we have to dovetail in Krishna consciousness. Mind becomes fixed in devotional service by taking shelter of that attachment. हमारा weakness क्या है? Particularly express करना है गुरु को, Maharaj, I am having this anartha prominent in my life. How to dovetail it in Krishna consciousness? Then it can be. Otherwise, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and sense of touch are knowledge acquiring senses. The hands, legs, and so on, working senses. When the objects of senses are associated with devotional mood, then the mind becomes fixed on Lord. Taste, form, smell, touch, sense, object, these objects of the senses. One has to arouse the mood of devotion in all these objects and enjoy them, then devotional service is cultivated. Yeah. Among the objects of the senses, aversion should be applied on any that unfavorable for devotional service, and attachment should be applied on any that are favorable for devotional service. But until the restlessness of intelligence is vanquished, how will the restlessness of the mind be checked? First, intelligence has to be checked. Then only intelligence can control the mind. If intelligence is weak, the mind can control the intelligence. So intelligence stout means doing good sadhana, reading and hearing nice sadhana. Then only mind can be controlled. Then mind is controlled means thinking, feeling and willing is proper about Krishna consciousness. Then senses automatically be controlled. When the restlessness of intelligence is vanquished, the mind can regulate attachment and aversion for the sense objects by the strength of intelligence. So Bhaktialok also please try to learn. And now we will focus on quickly on this third verse. Now, what will make us progress in bhakti? उत्साह निश्चय अधैर्य तत्त कर्म प्रवर्तना संग त्याग सतो वृत्ते षड्भिर भक्ति प्रसिद्धति. उत्साह निश्चय धैर्य. Step by step. First, utsaha. First preference for advancement in bhakti is enthusiasm. Utsaha. Enthusiasm. Nishchaya. Confidence. This I am going to achieve the result. Confidence hona chahiye. Dhairya. Patience. Not now. Eventually I am going to achieve it. Tat karma. Various activities favorable for devotional service. One has to perform those activities. pravartanat, by performing. Sangatyaga, by giving up the association of non-devotees. Especially for grastas, it is very difficult. No? They have to live with non-devotees. So now one devotee was telling, see, devotees are always shouting, so much disturbing. See how non-devotees are so nice. That means he's gone case. You cannot compare the bus and the helicopter. No? So Sangha Tyagat means one should give up non-devotees. Sangha Tyagat Sato Vritti. Sata, the great of the great previous acharyas. Vritte, by following in their footsteps. One should follow in the footsteps of previous acharyas. Then Shadvir Bhakti Prasiddhati. Shadvi means by these 6. Bhakti, devotional service, prasiddhati, advances or becomes successful. Can somebody read this translation?
धैर्यवान राम प्रभु.
There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service: being enthusiastic, endeavoring with confidence, being patient, acting according to regulative principles such as Sravana, Kirtana, Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna, abandoning the association of non-devotees, and following in the footsteps of previous acharyas. The 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service.
So there is no doubt what will destroy bhakti, what will make us progress in bhakti. So whenever I am not feeling like progress, then we have to check. Atyara prayasasya prajalpo niyamagre janasangasya lolamsya sadvir bhaktir vinashyati. If you want to progress, what is going to make me progress? Utsaha. One should be, once Prabhupada was telling, even if you are not enthusiastic, act like enthusiastic. No? So enthusiasm is the first step. Utsaha, Nishchaya, Dhairya, Tattat Karma Pravartana, Sangatya, Satovritti, Shadvir Bhakti, Prasiddhati. Should always recite these verses. Then we will be always protected. Okay? Read this purport.
Devotional service is not a matter of sentimental speculation or imaginative ecstasy. Its substance is practical activity.
Wait. So, it's this first line Prabhupada is telling. What is the meaning of progressing in bhakti? Not just sitting quietly and thinking I am very nicely progressing in bhakti. Progressing in bhakti means we have to do some activity. We should do some service. Not bhakti mein, Prabhupada did not tell pure devotion. Pure devotion, you should have told, that is only mental. But he said service. Service should be devotional and pure. So activity, devotional bhakti means activity. There should be proper service. We should serve properly. If you are not serving properly means our bhakti is not proper. It's activity, practical activity. We are not meditators. Yashodamai is not sitting and meditating when Krishna comes. We are not meditators. We have to do some activity for Krishna. We have to serve Krishna. Yeah? So, Anya Abhilasita Sunyam Jnana Karma Janavrutam Anukulena Krishna Anushilnam Bhaktiruttama. Please try to focus here. If you don't focus, if you are getting sleep, then it is very difficult. Because this is, we should at least, we are reading about enthusiasm. Somebody is feeling bored. That's why Sattva-guna is required. And today is fasting day also, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance day. one should participate nicely and take enthusiasm to read what Prabhupada has said. Otherwise, we have to face consequences like anything. Every line is very, very important what Prabhupada has given for us. And again, we are not going to read this. Only this. Once we go through this, the exam is over, books are side. Then other books will come. So this is very important. If we don't read and focus, we will lose mercy of Prabhupada. You know? So where each and every line is very important. Bhakti means activity, seva. सेवा कैसे कर रहा है? गुस्सा से कर रहा है, फ्रस्ट्रेटेडली कर रहा है, या खुशी से कर रहा है? सेवा करने टाइम में कैसे रहता है? व्हाट इज द रिजल्ट ऑफ सेवा? मोर सेवा. So one should be ready for that. If you are not prepared, then we will become frustrated. So सेवा प्रेम से, खुशी से हर दिन करना है. एक दिन, एक साल, 2 साल, 5 साल, 10 साल नहीं, एक जन्म नहीं, जन्म जन्मांतर तक वो सेवा करना चाहिए विदाउट एनी फ्रस्ट्रेशन. That is bhakti. Can we do some service? Any service. प्रभु ये सेवा मैं कितना साल भी कर सकता हूँ, मरने दम तक भी कर सकता हूँ, मरने के बाद भी कर सकता हूँ. So that is, one should have fixed service. That means I like that service. So one should have that taste. That is bhakti. No? So that is called utsaha. You are very utsaha in that service. You are doing other service which you are not enthusiastic. But superior has told, okay, do it enthusiastically for his pleasure. So utsaha is very, very important for progress in bhakti. No? Uttam bhakti or unalloyed devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna involves rendering of devotional service in a way that is favorable to the Lord. First and foremost. कोई मेरी आनंद के लिए नहीं करना है. सेवा में मेरे को आनंद मिलेगा कि नहीं वो इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं, गुरु और कृष्ण को आनंद मिलेगा. अनुकूलेन कृष्ण अनुशीलनम, है ना. मेरे को जो अच्छा लगता है वो नहीं करना है, भगवान को जो अच्छा लगता है वो करना है. दैट इज कॉल्ड प्योर डिवोशनल सर्विस. ओके. तो कैसे ऐसा, फिर अभी मेरे को इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, उत्साह नहीं है, फिर उत्साह स्टेज तक कैसे पहुंचना है? तो ये हाउ टू प्रैक्टिस भक्ति. Can somebody read this?
Bhakti is a sort of cultivation. As soon as we say cultivation, we must refer to activity. Cultivation of spirituality does not mean sitting down idly for meditation, as some pseudo yogis teach. Such idle meditation may be good for those who have no information of devotional service, and for this reason, it is sometimes recommended as a way to check distracting materialistic activities. Meditation means stopping all nonsensical activities, at least for the time being. Devotional service, however, not only puts an end to all nonsensical mundane activities, but also engage one in meaningful devotional activities. Srila,
So this is very, very important. What is the difference between meditation and bhakti? What meditation does? Can someone answer? What meditation does, what bhakti does? Quick.
meditation means we'll stop all activities that are not required. That is meditation. We are trying to control the mind. That is meditation.
For time being, थोड़ी समय के लिए वो रोकने के लिए मेडिटेशन हेल्प कर सकता है. for time being. बहुत important है. Meditation means stopping all nonsensical activities at least for time being. Yeah? But it cannot stop for a long time. Meditation. But devotional service not only puts end to all nonsensical mundane activities, it will put full stop for all nonsensical activities, but engages one in the meaningful devotional activities. So what is bhakti? Bhakti भी एक साइंस है, एक नवविधा भक्ति है. प्रहलाद महाराज said, what is that bhakti? नवविधा भक्ति. श्रवणम कीर्तनम विष्णु स्मरणम पादसेवनम अर्चनम वंदनम दास्यम साक्ष्यम आत्मनिवेदनम इति पुंसार्पिता विष्णु भक्तिश्चे नवलक्षण क्रियेति भगवती अद्य तन्मन्ये अदितम उत्तमम. So Prahlad Maharaj says this. The 9 process of devotional service as follows: hearing the name and glories of the Supreme Personality of God, chanting His glories, remembering the Lord, serving the lotus feet, worshipping the deity, offering obeisances unto the Lord, acting as Lord's servant, making friends with the Lord, surrendering oneself fully to the Lord. Shravanam or hearing is the first step in acquiring transcendental knowledge. One should not give oral reception to unauthorized persons, but should approach the proper person as recommended in Bhagavad Gita. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanastattva darshana. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. Self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. So, Shravanam is the first step. Those who don't do hearing and reading, they cannot do other activities properly. Any one of them can take us back to Godhead. Prabhupada says, among 9, you follow one thing very seriously. That can take you to Krishna. But without Shravanam, other methods cannot protect you. Shravanam is first and foremost. We should hear sufficiently about pure devotional service from pure devotees like Prabhupada and Prabhupada disciples. No? Not other than ISKCON. No? Then only a mood is very important for bhakti. So one should not hear from, one should not give oral reception to unauthorized peoples. No? One should surrender. One should serve that guru, not just hearing and forgetting. One should go and serve him. Okay, so we'll end here. Any doubts? So please try to, these two are very, 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 very important of envoy. Second verse, third verse, first verse also. Second and third are very important. If you don't read this properly, then you are missing a lot. I can guarantee it. You should scrutinizingly study these purports very nicely. Underline, make notes. ऐसी ऊपर ऊपर से पढ़ने से नहीं समझ में आएगा, गारंटी है ना. These two are very, very, very important. So we should ask multiple questions. So practical. When somebody says to go and get the parcel, so who is going to get, where, from whom I have to collect, when I have to collect, today or tomorrow, there so many questions will come. Similarly, भक्ति में ऐसा ऐसा करना है तो मेरा लेवल के अनुसार कैसे सोचना चाहिए, मेरे लिए परफेक्ट है कि नहीं, कुछ प्रॉब्लम है तो शेयर करना चाहिए और ये सॉल्व करना है ये रीडिंग करके. ठीक है. So these two verses are very, very important of envoy. Every verse is very important, but especially these two are like a diamond. भक्ति प्रगति करना और भक्ति विनष्ट होना, दोनों बहुत बहुत ध्यान पूर्वक परपोर्ट्स पढ़ना है। नहीं पढ़ोगे, you have lost valuable information. Guarantee you have missed something in Krishna consciousness, which is very, very important. कम से कम 10 बार पढ़ना चाहिए परपोर्ट्स। 10 बार पढ़ेगा तभी माइंड को, 3 बार नहीं, 10 बार पढ़ना पड़ेगा। Otherwise, we get sleep while reading, very nice sleep. Yeah? So that is not the success. So you should always read these purports very nicely and come up, because these two are very, very important. Okay, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.